Everybody, welcome to my new video. And I know what you're thinking, oh, why have you not made a video in so long? Well, I'll tell you why. I have a really good excuse for it. Okay, let me start off from the beginning. Okay, sometime in the middle of last year, I had what I call a stomach attack. And what this is where your muscles and the top of your chest, like from here to your neck, to your back, from your stomach up underneath your chest, to your lower back, even to your hips, cramps up on you all at once. And you can't do nothing but hump over in the fetal position. And this happened about 4 o'clock in the morning, because this is when I used to stay up really late. And my dad wakes up at 4, so I'm in my room screaming out in pain. And I told him, don't worry, just go on to work. So he took off, and he didn't even get to work, and I'm screaming in pain. And my mother calls my dad and says, listen, we have to take her to the hospital. There's something wrong with her. So I have to go to the hospital. Well, that time they gave me an EKG. They gave me EKG. They gave me an ultrasound to see if there was something wrong with my esophagus. They gave me X-rays, everything you can think of, blood tests, everything you can think of. And basically, the doctor came in there and said, oh, it's gastrointestinal. I'm like, what is that? And he's like, it's probably just something you ate that didn't agree with you. I thought back on it, and I was like, well, I had been eating something called a calzone. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's like a giant Hot Pocket. Well, I got it from a local pizzeria that, I've always eaten La Rosa's, and I had been noticing that pizza and tomato sauce and stuff like that just did not agree with my stomach. So I thought, well, yeah, probably that's what it is. That's probably what it was, probably the calzone. Well, I come home, and my muscles are so sore. Well, anyway, months later, it happens again. It keeps happening, keeps happening, keeps happening. Well, on December 26th, the day after Christmas, it wasn't even the day after Christmas, but, by time and everything, I have to say it was December 26th. But since it was just me and my mom and my dad here for Christmas, we got dinner on pretty late for Christmas dinner, and then we started cooking at like 9 o'clock. It was done by 11, 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. And we had breaded fried pork chops. We had mashed potatoes and gravy. We had peas. We had my own personal recipe of rice, which is tomato paste. And I ain't giving you all my recipe. But anyway, and I think we had peas. I can't remember what else we had, but we had a nice variety of food. And this is all homemade mashed potatoes, homemade gravy, everything. So I'm eating it, and I didn't eat a whole big bunch because I wasn't really that hungry. I ate maybe like 1 pork chop and, some mashed potatoes and gravy and some rice. I didn't even eat no peas or nothing. And we come upstairs to our rooms. I spent a few minutes with my mom and dad, then they said, oh, it's about 12 o'clock, we're going to go to bed. I said, okay, so I come in my room and I change my clothes into my pajamas. And I'm laying down and I'm doing something on my Android phone. I'm actually watching a movie on YouTube. And as soon as I started changing, I realized, oh gosh, this stomach pain hit me. Which automatically I knew what it was. It was another one of my stomach attacks, and it was killing me. And I got down on my knees right then and there and prayed to Jesus. I was like, Jesus, please don't let me have a stomach attack tonight. I don't want to have to deal with this. It hurts. And, I prayed about it, which I had been praying about it. I got in the habit of praying every single day. Please don't let me have one of my stomach attacks. Please don't let this food I'm going to eat bother me or nothing. But I've been praying for Jesus to give me an answer as to why and heal me of it. And well, anyways, skip forward. I lay down and go to bed somewhere about 12:30, 1 o'clock. I lay down for a few minutes, and I'm in that, halfway awake, halfway asleep process. And I'm sitting there, and it feels like I have eaten too much, but that feeling like you're extremely full. But it felt like I was full to the point where my stomach was going to bust open. And I was hurting. Now, 4 o'clock rolls around. I hear my mom and dad get up because my dad's got to get at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. I get up, and it's now December 26th. but it was so dark. It was still dark outside. It was sleeting and snowing unmercifully. And I run in there, and I'm like, listen, I am hurting so bad. I'm going to have to go to the hospital. I'm hurting. And they're like, oh, well, sit down, let it pass, let it pass, let it pass. And I had done let it pass, but it just did not let up. I was like, listen, I have to go now. So they start getting ready, and all of a sudden, I started throwing up, which usually I had been doing that. I started throwing up, and they was like, okay, we're getting you to the hospital now. And we had to go kind of slow because the roads were icy and snowy. Well, we get in there, and we get in the hospital, and I tell them, you know, oh, I'm hurting, my stomach's hurting. And the doctor did not understand what I meant. He thought I meant my actual stomach. I meant to say my muscles in my stomach are hurting, but I was in so much pain, I didn't care. He gave me what they call a GI cocktail, which it's got just like Pepto-Bismol, Mylantin, you know, just all them different things in it mixed all together, and I drank it. Well, that didn't do me any good. All that did is make me start burping. Then a nurse is doing something. She's taking my blood pressure, and I'm like, my muscles are hurting. I'm cramping up. I'm in so much pain. And she goes, oh, okay. She runs back and tells the doctor. Well, he tells me, well, we're going to send you upstairs and give you a CAT scan. I was like, it's not my head that's hurting, you know. And he's like, I know, we're just going to do it on your stomach. I was like, okay. And then they do that. While I'm upstairs, they tell me, can you lay flat on your back? Now, keep in mind, your muscles contract to where you cannot do anything but sit in the fetal position. And I told this woman, no, I can't. She said, well, you're going to have to try. I lay down on my back, y'all. My back was going like this and arching. You know, my back was just arching, and it just hurt. I was crying, you know. So I'm like, oh, my gosh. And she was bless that woman's heart, she was as quick as she could be. And she's like, oh, they didn't give you anything for pain downstairs? I'm like, no. So they sent me back downstairs, and here comes the doctor and two nurses and another nurse. Or she wasn't dressed in scrubs, so I'm not sure what she was. She's dressed like, you know, in office wear. And she tells me, we're going to give you an IV of Demerol, a.k.a. morphine. And these two women over here are going to check your blood pressure. I'm like, okay, cool. And I had heard it, but where I was in so much pain, I didn't comprehend it. And she did give me the morphine. Now, for those of you who have had morphine, you know what I'm talking about. It works instantly, all at once. It goes straight to your head, and your body gets real hot. I thought, because I was in so much pain, I thought when she was giving me my CAT scan, I was going to pass out because I was in so much pain. Now, when they gave me that Demerol, it's just that big shoot of medicine going straight to your head. I thought I was passing out. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. She's like, no, 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 calm down. That's what it does. It's okay. It's cool. And I'm like, oh, gosh. Well, my pain is eased. They start taking my blood. They took like 4 or 5 vials of blood out of this arm and, you know, everything else. Well, then my doctor comes back after they get read the results of my blood test, and they said, oh, it's your gallbladder. I'm like, what? Because I had asked them the first time I went in the hospital for that, if it was my, you know, gallbladder or my appendix or my pancreas, and they was like, no, it's just your, you know, your GI tract. Well, this time they say instead of having gallstones, my gallbladder is filled with sludge, and it cannot process the fat through my body. I was like, oh, goodness, there's some good news. And he was trying to talk to me while I was still a little loopy, while I was high on that Demerol, and I was sitting there. I was like, okay, whatever. And by the time he said, okay, we're just going to send you home, and I'm going to recommend you go to this doctor you need to call him whenever you get out of here. I'm like, okay. Now, by this time, it's 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And we start to leave the hospital, and she said, all right, for pain, when you get home, I'm going to prescribe you 2 things for pain, for this cramping, and I'm going to prescribe you an anti-nausea pill. And I cannot remember for the life of me what the nausea pill is called. But I kept explaining to her, I'm a GED student, I go to school in the evening, can you just mark by the ones I cannot take before I go to school, that way I won't be falling asleep. And she said, okay. She puts 2 stars over by the names of it. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I got to looking at what she prescribed me for my pain. She prescribed me Percocet and oxycodone, which I have not taken any of those. The only medicine I've taken is my anti-nausea medicine. Well, that knocks me out too. So all 3 of those are out of the question before I go to school. Now, on January 16th at 10 o'clock in the morning, I have to go in and see my doctor. Her name is Dr. Duchamp, and she's a gastroenterologist, and she's got to see, I don't know if I'm going to have my gallbladder removed or if I'm going to have surgery or something. I don't even know. But I'm going to go in there and see what she says. But the doctor told me from now on, do not eat anything with fat in it. Do not eat anything with oil, grease, butter. Can't have butter. Can't eat vegetables unless they're cooked. I can't eat, the only types of meat I can eat, it has to be baked, which mainly I can only eat chicken and some kind of lean meat like sirloin. I cannot eat dairy, no cheese, nothing. So my diet's been pretty much cut out. And so it's been, well, today's January 7th, so that was on December 26th, now it's January 7th, and I've not had one of these attacks, thank God. I've been praying to Jesus and everything. But the night I got out of the hospital, the night I come home, my stomach all tightened up on me and was burning like I had just drank battery acid. And then I started throwing up. I was like, okay, I'll feel better in the morning. My muscles were so sore that morning I had to go get my prescriptions, and whew, my muscles were sore, but that's why I didn't make a video. I have just been sick. And today was my first day back to school, and I thought, well, you know, I'll make a video, and then I'll go to school, then I'll go home, and I'll make a video for my subscribers, so on and so forth. But one thing interesting, my mother, when she was in the hospital, those of you who watch my videos know about this, when she was in the hospital for her problems, I didn't tell you all this, she was saying that people at this hospital do not know how to give somebody an IV or a shot or take blood because they always severely bruise you. Now, guys, keep in mind, I do not bruise easily. You have to really hurt me for me to be bruised. As soon as she stuck this IV, the doctor stuck this IV of Demerol in my skin, I instantly bruised like that. She said, oh, do you bruise easy? I'm like, no. Let me show you all the bruise. I don't know if you can see it. Like right there. I don't know. I don't know if y'all can see my bruise, but there it is. And that's actually a couple of days. That's pretty old. That was on December 26th. I don't know if you can get a good look at it or not, but let me point it up. Yeah. I don't know if you guys could see it, but, you know. Anyway, that's where the IV went in. Now, the other people didn't bruise me when they took my blood. But also, I also wanted to say this. I went back to school, and I'm like this close from graduating my GED school, and I'm like, yes. Anyway, another thing I did. Oh, yeah, I cut my hair. Gave myself some bangs. I didn't actually cut the rest of my hair. Just gave myself some nice little bangs and whatnot. Comment. Let me know if it looks good. Anyway, that's why I've not made a video in so long. So, tomorrow I probably won't be able to make a video because I'm going over to one of my friends' houses because I haven't seen her in such a long time, so I'm going to go over to one of her friends, or go over to my friend's house tomorrow and just, you know, spend some time with her, you know. She's wanting me to kind of be there for a while, so I get out of school at 6:30. It gets dark at 5:30, which I don't know how long I'll spend over there, but anyway, I probably won't be able to make a video tomorrow, but I promise you there will be a new video coming soon. I promised you guys a video the last time I did about a very spiritual experience I had on talking on the phone with my bestest friend, which is also my cousin. I will make that, but I've just been really sick and just have not felt good, and I've just started school back today, and they've changed my schedule. I go 3 days a week now, and whew, it's been kind of hectic. So I promise you I'll make that video, and if you have a request for me to make a video, I do requests. Please just let me know right in the comment box. And everybody that watches this video, comment and tell me, how was your holiday? Do you got a funny story, or, you know, want to talk about what you ate for dinner, or talk about what presents you got? And tell me if my hair looks good. Alright guys, I love you, and be safe and be blessed. And remember, if I can help you with anything, please don't hesitate to ask. Alright guys, bye!